So imagine you can just snap your fingers and achieve your purpose right now. You want $2 million. Bam, you got it. Now what? You want to be famous. Snap your fingers. Boom, you got it. Now what? Those are outcome based purposes. Outcome based purposes are like an illusion. They're kind of fake in a way. They're based on this facade. And the reason why they are fake and they're often never achieved is because they're just tied to an outcome. Instead, and I was reading this book that's really interesting, we should be focusing on expression based purposes. Expression based purposes is how you want to feel right now in the moment, what your objective is right now in this moment. So, for example, you say you want to have a best selling book, right? Let's take the book example. You want to have a New York Times bestseller. That's not a real purpose. That's an outcome based purpose. An expression based purpose would be more like, I want to inspire people to think individually and to be able to think deeper and change their lives with their ability to think deeper and think creatively. See, that's more of an expression based purpose because you're actively doing something and it could lead to it's more likely to lead to the New York Times bestseller. See, people shortchange themselves. They short circuit their goals. And a goal is nothing but an outcome based purpose anyway. But they shortcut their goals by just having this goal. The goal doesn't mean anything, really. There's no meaning behind the goal. There's no emotion behind that goal. It's not real. It's not a real purpose. So it's some fake shit. You know what I mean? So another great purpose that I often remind myself of is to remain curious in life. When you lose your curiosity about things, life becomes a lot more dull and sinister. You're not curious about anything. You're not like exuberant about life. And if you're not exuberant about life, how do you expect to achieve your goals and desires? Like there needs to be these you got to have these certain qualities and traits, to be interested in things, to have exuberance. These things carry you through to the goal. I can think back on a lot of times in my life where I just didn't GAF and I was sort of spiraling out of control. There were times, and I think about it and I'm like, I did lose my curiosity and my interest for life or for things in general. And when I think back to those times, it's like the lights were turned down. The lights got dim. The color radiance went down in my life. Like, if I think back to those memories, the pictures were very gloomy and very dull. And on the flip side, I can think back to the most exciting times in my life. And, the intrigue, the exuberance and the interest and the curiosity for life and for things in life. It's as if they turned the color up, the clouds started to part. And there's this natural excitement that happens when we live like that, and I can remember during those times waking up out of bed in the morning with more energy, like excited to go and accomplish what I was set out to accomplish and to just, play the game at a high level. And I appreciate those times, man. Those times were really fun, and it's sometimes it could be a little stressful, but that should never deter anybody from pursuing anything. When you think about it, I look back on times where I was working the hardest towards something, and I look back on those times like they were some of the best times in my life because there was full engagement, And my purpose back then may have been to extend myself and to learn as much as possible. I remember during that time, I was trying to soak up so much information, apply the information that I was learning immediately. And I was really excited by the results I was getting. And it just kept propelling me forward. Okay, let me get to the next level. Let me take it a little bit further. Let me see how far I can take it. And it was exciting. So, but at the same time, it was a roller coaster. There were emotional times, because you have a lot on your plate. And I remember one of the associates I had during that time, they were like, a lot of people were complaining, I got so much on my plate. This is stressful. And he said, remember, you guys weren't complaining when you wanted to eat, when you were hungry and you wanted to eat. You weren't complaining about what's on your plate. So you have a lot on your plate right now. Let's manage it. And it made me think, like, no matter what, human beings are kind of dissatisfied, or there's always this, oh, the grass was greener back then. But when you really have enough experiences in life and you look back on all of them, you realize that, the times that you had a lot of things on your plate weren't so bad at all. So sometimes I remind myself, you know what, I got to put more things on my plate. And the younger you are, the easier that is. But right now is the youngest you're ever going to be. And people do underestimate the amount of things they can handle on their plate. Human beings naturally want to just chill and relax. And there's nothing wrong with taking some time off to relax, but human beings always revert to the lay back, kick back, open up your phone and start scrolling type of leisure. And they underestimate how much they can actually accomplish, how much they can actually do. And another thing is people, they might not realize it, but they don't really love and expect much of themselves, or they don't respect themselves even as much as they should respect themselves. And, they might have a skewed or negative outlook on themselves without realizing it. But when you just take the time out to actually do this, just look in the mirror and look at what you see and truly ask yourself how you feel about yourself. This is this should be an exercise once in a while to do, and try to get real with yourself and make it a point to focus in on what you really love about yourself so that you can respect yourself more, and you can actually expect more from yourself when you respect yourself. So I was thinking of this celebrity, right? And right now he's like, he kind of let himself go. And if you saw like a before and after video or picture of this guy, you're like, damn, man, his drinking really got a hold of him. He's not the same person anymore. And it's like, when you're in that life, that chaotic life, and you're just, just living it up, you often don't take the time to just look in the mirror at yourself and get real with yourself. Like, damn, this is what I ended up as. A lot of times where if somebody's going through, substance abuse or something like that, and their parents take them, they say, look at yourself in the mirror. They take them and they face them in the mirror and say, look at you. Oftentimes that right there is the turning point for people, when they actually notice how fucked up they look. And I try not to curse in the video, but you know what? It is what it is. They really say, you know what? Damn, I'm messed up to the point where, like, I don't like that. Like, I don't like the way I look right now. This is crazy. I let myself go. I look bummy, and bro, I want to turn it around. You might see a picture of yourself back when your eyes lit up and you looked healthy and you were vibrant, coherent, and you realize, damn, I let myself slide so far. And that's the turning point where you start to respect yourself and make a change. So, I mean, looking in the mirror once in a while and getting real with yourself it's a valuable thing. And maybe that's the first thing that people, depending on how rock bottom they are, that's the first thing that a lot of people need to do. So maybe instead of having your purpose be, oh, I need $2 million. Maybe you want to live free right now. Maybe you want to be free. Maybe that's what the money represents. So identify what it really represents for you. And you can live free right now, which can lead to more better finances. It's like somebody, if you've ever been in jail, right? And people that go to jail, they know this. There's a moment where your mind becomes free. There's when you're first there, you're like, I don't want to be there. This is crazy. I can't stand this place. These people are getting on my nerves. I just can't wait to get out of here. You have all these thoughts, right? During that time, your mind is in the cage. They got your mind. They got your body and they got your mind. But there comes a point where you realize, okay, I can't let them have my mind. So I got to free my mind right now. And you just let it go. You're like, all right, I'm going to learn this thing. I'm going to pick up books and read. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do this, that, and the third. And I'm going to make the best of my time while I'm locked down. And you start to notice that your mind is more powerful than you think it is at that time. And then when you see a new person come in and you're like, okay, they're going through the same thing that I did when I first got here. And they're struggling right now. And you feel bad for them because they haven't yet freed their mind. So you feel sympathy for that. It is the same thing here in this life out here in the open. It's the same thing. You have people walking around with their mind in a cage. Their mind is locked up. How can you free yourself and liberate yourself if you're allowing your mind to be enslaved? And that's really the point of the video, because you can't achieve a purpose or a goal or anything if your mind is in the cage. Get your mind out of the gutter. The key to unlocking it is to have expression-based purposes. My purpose is to be curious. My purpose is to breathe life into other people, to have good energy when I walk into a room. All of these expression-based purposes are the key to opening that cage and letting your mind free. No matter if you are in an actual cage or in a cage here in this world. Because everything is an illusion. Life is nothing but a dream.